Are we where I am? Are you able to see that? Okay, you've opened it. Have you opened this? What you're seeing in the folder which I've given you, there is the folder data analysis. Okay, all right. You don't have the folder. Your assist you. If you have the folder, look for the if formula. If formula. Okay, no problem, because you focus on my screen for now. Okay, so now we're going to deal with the if formula. The if formula works with a logic statement. So before we jump into the if, let us look at what a logic statement looks like, or a logic expression. When I say if this is equals to that, Excel should return to me whether it's true or false. Okay? Is this laptop the same as that laptop? Excel should be able to look and judge and say, yes, it's true or it's not. Now let's make it simple. I've got a 2 there and I've got a 2 there. So I'm going to write a logic expression which says equals, is this equals to this? If I press enter, it tells me true. Okay, I put another one here. I've got 3 there, and then I've got 3.1. So if I say, is this equal to that? If I press enter, it tells me false. So what I've just done here, this is a logic expression. If I come on the same one here, I can come and remove and say, is this one here greater than this one? If I press enter, it tells me false. This one is not greater than that one. Okay? If I come here and say 5 there, then I put 2 there, and if I come here and say equals, is this greater than this one? It will tell me true, because 5 is greater than 2. So what we have just been doing here is just a logic expression. You can use equals, greater greater than, what do you call that? Is it equal to or greater than? You get the point? Is it less than, equal to, or less than? Those things. Okay. So you have now understood what a logic expression is, isn't it? Have we understood the logic expression? Madam, have we understood logic expression? Okay. Now let's do logic expression, because we've understood logic expression, and let's put in an if. Now, if functions or if formulas, these are very vital. If you are going to do data analysis in Excel, you can't run away from them. You can't run away from them. Let us do this. I've got mobile applications here which have been released, and this is the revenue that they have kicked back. Okay? So I want to find out, is the revenue greater than 15,000 for any of these mobile applications. So, if it is greater than 15,000, let me do this. I'll start with the logic expression, then move to the if. I'll say if, not if, equals, is this revenue greater than 15? I'll click on that 15 on top there. You see that? If I press enter, it will tell me false, right? Okay? But if I want to run this down, like run it down, I might have a problem because this one is making reference to this one, and this one is making reference to that one, right? So if I'm running it down, I don't want this one to move. It should always be constant, isn't it? If it's running down, the reference to 15,000 should always be constant because I'm weighing it against 15,000, right? But if I come to the last one here, this one, you said it's speaking on the false. But of which this one I wanted to pick from here, 15. So to solve that problem, I come here, then this C2, I make it an absolute reference. Absolute reference. What is an absolute reference? It means that it is a fixed reference. It's always referring to that cell. Even if you drag it down, it will always refer to that cell. So how do you do that? In front of the C, you put the dollar sign. In front of the 2, you put the dollar sign also. It means you have locked that cell. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to move anywhere. The reference will be that to that cell. Okay? If I press enter there, then if I come here and drag down, now it's working. What we've just done now is an absolute reference. Okay? The absolute reference comes in because we have made reference to that one. So you see that one is this greater than 15,000? Okay. Then I come to the next one here. Is this greater than 15,000? Those are absolute reference. Okay. So it's giving me false, false, true, true, false, true, false, true. But this is the power of the if function. If be it that it is true, what should I do? If it is false, what should I do? So now we use the if function now. We say equals. Then we say if. What is the logical test or the logical expression? The logical expression is to say, is this one greater than 15,000? Now remember we have to lock it, right? Now I showed you that you have to put the dollar sign in front of the C and in front of the 2. But there's the easier way to do that. You just press F4 and lock the cell. F4. F not F letter F now 4 number. That F4 which is on top of those Shanai. Okay? So it's F4. When you do the F4, then you say comma. So in a case that the value of the if is true, when we do this logical test and we find the value is true, what should it return? So here I can even write what I want it to return. Since I'm going to write a text, I have to put it in double quotations. Remember that a text is a string variable, so it has to be put in double quotation. So if it is true that is greater than that one, I want it to say good. Then I put the quotation there. Then I say comma. Now in a case that the expression gives you a false, what do you want it to say? I want it to say very bad. Okay? So I come there and say open double quotation. The open double quotation. I say very bad. Okay? Then I put a double quotation there. Then I can now close. See that expression? Now if I press enter, it tells me very bad. Because why? It is less than. So if I run it down, it will tell me very good, good, or very bad, good, good, very bad, good, very bad, good, just like that. We're doing the if function. Did you follow it how we built it up? And you have understood a logic expression, right? Did you understand the logic expression? I'm sorry, there's no video for this one. You didn't get it. It's sharp. Some people are saying that it's okay, we can pause. Still the video. Please try by all means to follow through. Try by all means to follow through. I think the pressure which I'm there. That's the deciding part. Why is it the deciding? Because this is what Excel is doing. Here, this expression, do you know what it is returning? This expression here. It's returning either true or false. So when here is true, they need to come and get that good there. If here it is false, it come and get bad. So if I press F9 there, it said it's returning false there. That's why it's going to get very bad. Control Z. You see that one? I wanted to say that this pressure which I'm giving you is nothing compared to what our superiors give us. The deadlines that you have to meet, at times you don't even sleep. So hold on, hold on. Let's get through this together. Okay. So now we have done something here. So if the revenue is greater than this, we've been able to do that. So let us do something. In the case that the revenue is greater than 15,000 and is less than 20,000, I want it to be able to say good, or it should be able to say good. What I'm saying is this. If this revenue here, this revenue is greater than 15,009, then this same revenue, if it is less than 20,000, it's supposed to say good. What am I looking for here? If you are greater than 15,000, this is 1, 2, up to 15,009, up to 20,000. So if it is greater than 0, 15, 20. If it is greater than 15 and it should be less than 20. So which means it's supposed to be in between. You get it? So if it is in between here, then it should say good. Else, if it is out there, it should say probably bad. Okay? Or it should say nothing. That's what we want to write now, right? So we are saying equals if. Now you see that we want to write two logic tests here. The first logic test that we want to write is revenue, if the revenue is greater than 15,000, right? And the other logic test that we want to write is if revenue is less than 20,000. Two of them, right? So, for us to be able to put these two logical tests together, we use what you call the AND. function. The AND function is able to hold a number of logic functions. Okay, so I can say AND. What's my first logic? My first logic is to say if this one is greater than 15,000, right? So I have to lock the 15,000 because I want it to be fixed. So I put the F4 there. Then I say comma, my logical test 2, which is if this one is less than 20,000, then I close. So all this was to do the logical test here, from here to there. So if I put the comma there, so in a case that this value is returned to be true, what should it say? Just tell me what you want it to say. For you, what do you want it to say? True. True. You want it to say true. Okay, I'll put the true here. I'll say true, comma. What if it is false? Should say false. Okay, I put the false there. Then I close. So you see the 20,000, which is the D3. I locked it also by pressing F4 because I want it to be fixed. Right. So if I press enter, you see there is false. Because 11,000 is not in between 15 and 20, right? Okay, let us run it down. You have your false, true, true, false, true, false, true. This is the formula there. Are we together, sir? Madam, you're ahead of us, right? Okay. Okay. Let's take it further. I want it to say if the revenue is greater than 15,000 and is less than 20,000, then it should say good, right? This is what we just did here, right? But it doesn't end there. Again, you want it to say if the revenue is equal to, greater than or equal to 20,000, then it should be able to say exceptional. But else, it should just be able to say, return to me the value of the revenue. I'll explain it this way. Alright, so I'm saying if the revenue, this revenue, we're picking it up from when we get it. She said, is greater than 15,000 and less than what? 20,000, which is this, right? So when this is true, when this here is true, it's true, it should be able to say false or true. Okay, that's what it written there. Oh. But not only that, in a case that the revenue is greater than 20,000, then it should say exception. So it will run this. If this falls to be true in this, it will say good. But if it is greater than 20,000, it's supposed to say exception. But if it is not greater than 20,000, which means it's less than 15,000, isn't it? There's nowhere else you can go here. You have got this in between here, and you have got greater than that has been covered, right? But now if it is less than 15,000, I want it to return the value of the revenue. Which one is the value of the revenue? This one here. That's what we are doing. So how do we do this? We'll use what we call nested if statement. It's very simple. Look at this. Equals. So I'm saying if. Now, in what if you see what is here, it's just the same as this here. So we are using the AND. So what are we saying? If this is greater than 15,000, I lock the 15,000 by pressing F4, comma, and I say if this is less than the 20,000, I lock the 20,000 by pressing F4, and I close. In a case that this is true, in a case that this is true, what should it say? Good, right? It should say good, isn't it? So I put good. Then I put comma. But if it is false, I've got another expression to write. What is that expression? The expression says, if this is greater than or equal to 20,000, I lock the 20,000 by pressing F4. Then I say comma. So if in case that this is true, this one here, it is true, this expression is true, it would put the word exception, alright? Isn't it? Exception. Okay? Then, in a case that it is false, it should just return to me the value of the revenue. So I click on it, on the cell. Then I close. I close for the if, and I also close for the other if. You have nested the if. So if I press enter here, you see that it returns to me 11,000. True to what we have just shown you there, isn't it? That if it is below 15,000, it should return the revenue, the value of the revenue that's returned. So if I come here, I run it down. Sorry. Where is this? Okay, enter, run it down. You see, for each value that is below, it returns the value. But if it is greater, if it is between, it tells you good. But if it is greater than 20,000, it tells you exception. So when people bring you their performance, this is the performance of all the employees, then you are asked to weigh their, or to be able to give a comment. You might not have to go through all of them. No, because they have told you that this salesperson made this much, this one this much. So you just run this formula, bam! In 1 minute you're done, and you submit to say, this is the performance of the employees. The supervisor will know what action to take. You've analyzed the data. Okay? That's the thing. Now, if you want, you can even take it an extra mile. What you can say that if anybody probably did below, let's say they did below 13,000, they should be fired. You can even do that by coming where it says, where you have put that, and you write another if statement. If this is greater than shan, then this, then you do that. You have seen it, huh? You can do that. Alright. We're done with this. Let's go to another one. Now this one is saying, if the revenue is greater than 20,000, or it is sorry, if the revenue is greater than or equal to 20,000, or it is less than or equal to 15,000, then it should write the word flag. What are they asking here? What they are asking here? Okay. What they are asking here is this. This is 15,000. This is 10,000. If the revenue is equal to, which means starting from 20,000, going that side. If it is that, or it's starting from 20,000, going that way, it should say flag, because it is not in between here. So anything that is in between here, you can say flag, we say some whatever you want. But if it is this other side, it should say flag. Right. Okay. This is what we're doing. So how do we do that? Because these are two expressions which are working in opposite directions. And they cannot both be true at the same time. You can't be greater than 20,000 and again be less than 15,000. These are expressions which are working opposite to each other. So for that to happen, it means that your expressions are going to be either, they cannot be both true. One will be true when the other one is false, and one will be false when the other one is true. So you're going to pick any of the conditions. So because of that, you can't say and, because and means viene de la famosa. Right? Okay? In this case, you're going to put or. So when you say if, then what you put together these expressions is the formula called or. So I say or, then I'm saying if this one is greater than or equal to 20,000, I lock the 20,000, comma. If this one is less than or equal to 15,000, then I close and I say comma. In the case that it is true, it should say flag, right? So which means double quotation, flag, okay, comma. If it is false, I want it just to leave it empty. How do I do that? It's just to put double quotation in the close. If I press enter, it says flag. If I run this down, it says flag to everything. Now there's a problem somewhere. Where is the problem? I didn't lock one cell here, which is this one, the 15,000. That's what happens if you don't lock something. So I've locked it now. Okay. So it says flag. For those which are in between, it's okay. So this formula can work best when you have got a margin of error. Okay? So if we say that the performance of people must be between this, okay? Which means if they go above or below this, it must be able to flag them. But if they are within this range, then it's okay. So if they go beyond the margin of error, there is a problem. That's how you can be able to apply this. Okay. Before I go to the next one, is there any question on this? What's the question? What's the question on the last part? I'll open up the formula. This is the formula. If you want to know what? Yes. If I want to know if it is what, if I have to use or and, okay. If you want to know whether to use and or, you see that the and, when we're using the and, things were coming together here, right? It was greater than 15 and less than 20. Which means if I pick 18,000 there, it is true for both, isn't it? It is greater than 15, isn't it? And it is less than 20. So 18 is meeting two conditions. Both conditions are being met. But if I put here 22,000, it is true for 15,000, but it is false for 20 there. Because, no, let me explain it properly. The expression that we want here, to say if revenue is greater than 15,000, which means if any revenue is 22,000, which means this comes in true, right? Isn't it? Then here, when the revenue is less than 20,000, if any revenue is 1,000, it still says true, isn't it? It still says true, isn't it? If it is like that. But the and is saying that both of these must be right. So which means for them to be both right, the revenue must be greater than 15,000 and not more than 20,000 because it all has to make up there. Does it make sense? Here, this one is true, right? And this one is true on the one, and this one is true on the chart. But this one is false on this one, isn't it? This one is false. And this one, 22 here, is false on this one. You see that? So there is true and false, true and false. But we are looking for a condition whereby we have true, 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 true. What is that condition that will give us true, true, true? Is whereby when we have 16, 17, 18, 19, all this will give you true, 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 true. This is where we use the and, because both expressions are in agreement. Have I confused someone with this? Have I made life easier for you, or I've actually made it worse? I made it easier? A bit easier. Okay. This is where we use the and. Now, when do we use the or? When do we use the or? The or we use it when this, have you seen? Anything below that and anything above that, these are going separate. There is no way that you can have whatever will come here will be false for both of them. It will be false. So you're not looking for anything which is between here. So when it is this side, you'll find that it is true. But when it is this side, you find it's also true for this one. So if it is true for any of them, if it is true for any of them, so you can use all. But if you want whereby for all of them it must be true, you use the and. So, have you understood? Or you have understood for the sake of just understanding? Okay. Okay. So we have done that. Any other question before we move on? Yes, sir. F4. Okay, for you to click F4, probably you need to uh, press the FN button and click the F4. That's when it works. That's how some laptops are. You have the FN? Yes, press the FN. When you click on the FN, then click on the F4. It's working, huh? You don't have the FN. All right, let's move on. All right, let's make life more interesting. What I want to do here is this. I have got the actual revenue and the budget revenue. The actual revenue and the budget revenue. So I've got a threshold. If it is positive or negative percent away from the budget, when the actual budget is 10% away, 10% positive or negative, right? Away from the budget which was proposed, then it is okay. But if it is more than 10% away, then there is a problem. There was a huge blunder in the budgeting because the national budget was just released, right? And we know that the proposed amount which was there in the budget, the Federal Reserve, they don't have that amount. Isn't it? They don't have it right now. What they are doing is that they are projecting that from this side we'll get this much, from that side we'll get this much. And when we bring together all this money, we'll have this much. That's how they're even able to do the budgeting. That's why even whenever you're working, whether you're working in a ministry, you have got what you call allocation. When you've got an allocation, it doesn't mean that all the money is transferred to your ministry accounts. No. That this has been allocated, but you'll be getting bit by bit. Okay? So now, what happens in a case that that budget which they have proposed right now is there's a deficit by 50%, which means the way they projected it, they are wrong by 50%, which means there will be calamity in the country. Because the projects that were planned for cannot be achieved because the budget was far off what was projected. And if you've got too much more, you have a surplus, but yet you underutilize the resources that you have. So you will not be efficient. Because you plan for these things years before or months before. So now here what we want to do is this. We want to find out the budget was 10,000, but the actual revenue was this. Is this 10% away or what? Now, how do we know if it is 10% away or not? So we say the actual budget, which means we say actual budget divided by the budget itself minus 1. It will tell us the actual budget becomes the numerator, then the budget revenue becomes the denominator. Then when you do that, you get 0 point something. Then you subtract 1 from there. 1 representing 100%. Okay? So you see that this budget, the budget was underrated, so they had a surplus on the revenue budget, okay? So they had a surplus, of which it's okay when you've got a surplus of 9%. But if you've got probably a surplus of, let me put here, probably I put, what can I put? 90,000. No. 90,000. When you have a surplus of 700 and something, it doesn't make sense. Because you start creating unnecessary workshops and what just to meet up what you have there. So there must be that, please. Oh, because I changed here the revenue. If you see what is here, this is saying B23, which is this one here, divided by 10. When divided by 10 minus 1, then I've changed the format of these cells to a percentage. That's why the numbers are appearing in percentage, right? Okay? You remember changing of format. But if I come and say Control Z, we can return to the 11 which was there. Okay? That's how we have that. Yes, it's part of the formula. Because what we are, look at this. If I say equals, and I say 11 divided by 10, what do I get? I get 1.0 1.09 something. So if I subtract the 1, which represents 100%, 100% is when 10,000 is equals to the 10,000, becomes 1, So if I subtract that 1, I'm able now to find the above. By how much was it above? Okay, that above, I put it into percentage. So how do I put this into percentage? That above, which is minus 1, I get 0.099. This in percentage is what? What is this in percentage? I just come here and evoke the percentage. Okay, now it's showing you 10% because it's rounding off. But I can come here and increase the decimal. Yeah, when you increase the decimal, you see that it changes, right? Okay, we'll get into all those later. But for now, let us look at this. Okay, have you seen how we have come up to that? So we can run it down and we can see. Have you seen that some are actually negative 15, which means there was a deficit of 15% of what was in the budget. For some, there were 18, which means there was a surplus of 18. So if anything is above those ones, which means we should say there's a problem somewhere. Okay? So now how do we do this? How do we do this using the if formula? So we can say if, because if, what is our logic test? Because here we are using two things which are going in two different directions, right? If it is 10 positive going up, which means it's surplus. 10 a negative going downward, which is another thing. Okay? So in this case, we are going to say or, because they are going opposite directions, right? There are two things that we want to run. That one and the other one. Okay? So we open there. Or, what is our logic test? We are saying if this divided by this minus 1 is greater than what? 10. But this 10 is 10%, okay? So 10%, comma. If this is greater than 10%, we will not use or, because we want it to give us separate answers. So what we'll use is a nested if. So in the case that this is true, why? In the case that this is true, it should tell us what? What should it tell us? If we find that it is greater than 10%, which is a surplus, so we can say surplus. Then, in a case that it is false, which means I'll use another nested if statement. If this divided by this minus 1 is less than negative 10%. Negative 10%, comma. In a case that this is true, we should say negative. Okay? Now it has to be in double quotations. Comma. Or if in a case that it is false, you should just say neutral or okay. Double quotation. Okay. Then I close with the if and the other if. Okay. Before I press the enter, I want to show you what it's saying. So in this case we are saying we've got negative 10 here, and we've got positive 10 there. So in a case that we find it greater than positive 10 in percentage, we say it's supposed to be surplus. Okay? So in a case that we find it is below, less than negative 10, because here you have got negative 11, right? Negative 11 is less than negative 10. So if I find this, you should say negative. Okay? But in a case that it is in between here, say okay. Take the cake on. Okay. So have we seen that? So now when you press enter, it tells you okay. Why is it telling you okay? You remember we found 0.9 there. Do you remember that? Like 9%. Okay. So if we run it down, you have okay, negative. Where there's a surplus, you find the surplus. Okay. So you have done a data analysis just there. It's giving you an error. It didn't give me an error. Okay. We move on. Okay, let's move on. Now, for those who watch Bloomberg or any other business news where they show you stocks are going up, the stocks are going down, Excel can also try to do such kind of things, whereby you can say, okay, if it is above 10%, show an arrow that it's going up. Below negative 10%, show an arrow that's going down. Or else, you can probably just put an equal sign or something. Okay? Can we do that? All right. Okay, what I'll do is this. I'll go and fetch my symbols which I want to use. Now, to fetch those symbols, what you just do is this. You go to insert, you go to symbols, under symbols. You see I've got all these symbols here. There are a lot of them. So I want to use the up arrow to show that it's going up. So I can click on it to insert it. So it has been inserted just by a click. Then I select also the down symbol to show that it's going down. Then when it is just it should just show this. Okay? So I click on it to be inserted. So I can come and close this. Have you seen we've got all the three symbols here? Now these three symbols that you have, just copy, cut out, put them in separate boxes. We put them in separate boxes. Okay. So now where it is okay, we want it to show this sign. Where it is surplus, it shows that. Where it is negative, to show this. Okay? So when we come to our formula here, press enter. This is F. This is F what? F23, right? Okay. So in a case that we have got a surplus, here where there is surplus, we replace this with F23. Okay? That is the cell, right? So we're making reference to the cell. If I press enter, what's up? Oh, okay. Let's go where there is okay, so that you can be able to see the change in real time. Where there is okay, we're replacing it with H23, right? Or you can click on the cell. You can click on it, H23. If I press enter, you see that symbol, right? Appears. Okay. So if I run this down, oh gosh, it's not working. Why? I forgot to lock the cell. So if I come here, I press the F4 to lock the H3, and also where there is this one where there was surplus, I press F4 to lock it. So if I press enter, if I come and run it down, you see where there is surplus, showing you it's going up. Where there is okay, it's just showing you those two symbols. Then negative, we didn't change it, right? So we can come back here. Where there is negative, we put, what do we put? What is that? That is G23. So G23. Okay. So we run down the formula again. It's not working. Why? We forgot to do what? Lock it. F4. Okay. Alright. So now you can be able to make that expression. So you can have surplus there, you can have those you can do those things. Any question before we move on? You're asking when are we going to stop? We're stopping until time comes to stop. I believe you can take this. You can take more. Are we okay? No, don't worry. You'll fix it when you reach home. You check the video. You'll be able to see where you went wrong. No, the video is there. But I wanted you to be able to pay more attention. Okay? Alright. So now let's move on. Let's look at other things. We've done the symbols, right? We've done that. There's no guide. Or the guide to what to do this and do that. Oh. To see there. Now the reason why okay, on top there it was like I'm showing you an example. Like I'm showing you like the nitty-gritties. But here, I'm giving you like a real-world application of it. Now, in the real-world application of it, they will not give you those symbols. They'll just give you the instructions of what you're supposed, what they want. This is what is here. They want 10% threshold on what and what. Now, it's up to you to be able to do that. So, you're getting the knowledge that you have acquired there. This is the academic knowledge which you have acquired here. This academic knowledge here. But here is the practical knowledge that you need to apply to at your workplace. The video will back us up. Yeah. Okay. Let's deal with another one. Let's go to lookup. Let's go to lookup. The file lookup. The file lookup under the folder which I gave you. The file lookup under the folder which I gave you. We're going to deal with the two. I think these two formulas, they work so well together, they can do wonders together, which is the match function and the index function. You're not complete if you don't know match function and index function in Excel. You're not complete. Okay. You've got this where it's light green, right? Just highlight that and delete what is there. Where it was light green. If you scroll up, some of you might be at the bottom of the one. You scroll up on that side, then you do that. Where it's green there, you just delete what was in the page. This is lookup, the lookup sheet, or sheet 1, yes. You've gotten it? Great. When you're dealing with data, you find yourself in a situation whereby you want to find where a particular name or ID is found in your database. Now, let us take it for instance. You have got a list of NRC numbers. And now this list of NRC numbers, you have been asked to say, find this NRC number. On what number is it in that list? Are you getting it? So now I'm looking forward to know at what number is that NRC found. When I know the number which it is found, I can quickly go to the record and check, okay, this is where this NRC is found. To do that, you can use what you call the match function. How does it work? I've got this list here. This is the list of names. So amongst the list of names, I've picked out one name, which is Joe. Now I want to find the position of Joe in this list. Is on list number what? For me to know, I just say equals, and I say match. What do I want to match? That name there, which is Joe, comma. What is my lookup array? My lookup array is this. I highlight it. Comma. What type of a match is this? Is it a less than, exact match, or a greater than? Now, if I'm talking about the name, I can't look for a less than, I can't look for a greater than name. It should be an exact match, isn't it? So which means I press 0 because 0 is represented by exact match there. Okay? Then I close. When I close, if I press enter, it returns to me the position of the name in the list. You see that one? So that's how you use the match. In a case that what you're looking for, they are duplicates. They are duplicates. Let us look at Tom equals. And I say match. What do I want to match? Tom. And that is my array. Sorry. Went too fast there. What I want to match is Tom. Then comma. My lookup array is this. Comma. What type of a match do I want? It's exact match because it's still the name. If I press enter, it returns to me 3. But if you look closely in the list, there are actually 2. But it brought the one which is on top. So the first one it finds, that's the one it returns. So when you have duplicates, that's one of the problems that you have. That's why you might have to deal with duplicates before you start running this kind of analysis on your data. Have you seen what happens when there's a duplicate? What happens if it is not in the list? This is what happens. I say equals, then I say match. I'm matching this, comma, that is my list, comma, 0. Close, enter. It returns to me non-applicable or not available because it is not in the list, so it's an error because it's not in the list. What if my data is not vertical but it is horizontal? How can I use the match? Well, if that is the problem you are having, it's not a problem at all. So I'll come here, I want to look for Joe, I'll say equals match. What do I want to match? That is my lookup value, comma. What is my array? My array is this one. Control Shift, I highlight everything. Control Shift, right arrow. Remember these things, huh? Let me just drag it back a little bit. Comma. What is the type of match? 0. The one which is exact. Again, close, press enter. Still returns to me that it is number 2 in the list. Have you seen how to use the match function using the exact match type? Have you seen how to use the match function? Match. It's just type the word match. When you type the word match, the first thing that you're clicking on is what you want to match, which is that. Then what is your array? That is your array there. And comma, you have that. Does it make sense? Match. So let's do some few magic here. So for these, I delete. So what I want to do is that I just want to write the formula at once. Then I want to drag it across. So I'll just say equals, then I say match. What do you want to match? This, comma. What is my array? That is my array. This is exact. then I close. If I press enter, it returns to me that. If I drag it like this, it gives me errors, right? The reason why here it's giving me an error is because here it's picking the right one, right? But here it's picking where it's empty. But I wanted to pick from here. So how do I do that? I need to lock this. So I come back to the original formula there. Here I come and I press F4 to lock that one, and I also lock that one F4. So that this reference must not be moved. I press enter, then I drag. Then it works out. That's the power of locking something. It may make your work easier, but you don't have to repeat the formula once more and more. Okay? Let's go down. Let's use the match function using the approximate. Now this approximate which we are going to use is the less than. Okay? So what I want to do here, you can just delete this what is there. Listen to me at this point. You have got 150. So for instance, if you are going to withdraw money from Airtel Money, you'll be told to say, if you are withdrawing anything below 1,000, your charge is from 20 kwacha, right? Isn't it? So which means, even if you withdraw 90 kwacha, it will fall back on that. If you withdraw this, it will fall that. Okay? So here, what I want to do is this. I want to match this 150 with this data here. These are numbers. So if somebody has got 150, in which category should they fall in? When they come here, when they check 0, they will see that they are greater than 0. When they check 100, they will see that they are greater than 100. When they check 500, they will see that they are less than 500, right? So they will fall back on the one which is less to them. They will not fall on the one which is greater than them. You see that? So if I come here and I say equals, and I say match, what am I matching? That, comma. What is my array? This is my array. I press F4 to lock my array, comma. What type of a match should it be? Less than, which is 1. So if I close, if I press enter, it returns 2. Because 150 is not greater than 500. So it falls back on what is less. So it matches up to that one. Because why? It's an approximate match. This is not an exact match, right? It's an approximate match. When you're doing an approximation, you don't go above, you go below. Okay? Then what about if it is 100? What happens if it's 100? When it's 100, it returns to you the actual 100. Why? Because they are equal to it. Because it's less than or equal to. In a case that we say negative 400. Now negative 400 falls before the 0, right? So what happens? If I come here, I drag it like that. It gives me non-applicable. Why? Because when it just comes, you find that 0 is greater. When it falls back, there's nothing to fall back on. So it's not applied or not applicable. You see that one? Do we see that? What if it's 20,000? If it is 20,000, when it comes here, it will find 10. But it's still looking for 20,000. But since it can't see anything above 10, this is the last one. So it will fall back on the 10,000. So it will return to you the position of 10,000. Because this is an approximate match. So it brings you that. Remember, the why I'm just dragging like this and not writing the formula. I showed you why, isn't it? Did I show you? Did you see when I locked the formula? I locked it here. It should always make reference to this. So if I drag this side, it will move to this one, to move to that one, but still remain in that. The references. If it is horizontal, you know what to do on horizontal. We come to an end. Any questions? People can't wait to get rid of me. This is why data analysts get more paid than data collectors. By far, you can't compare data analysis with the one who collects data. But this is when you learn them once. The rest is just repetition. It's just repetition. Then the learning part, yes, it's a little bit hard. But if you learn it, you are well and good. You are well and good. It's just like the teacher who comes to class, he only joked once about it, and they just come and repeat what word. Just like that. Just repetition. So if you learn this once, it will be just repetition. But one thing is this: never settle on your knowledge. Always upgrade your knowledge. Always upgrade it, so that when an opportunity comes, you'll find you ready. The power of this course is not in the certificate, it is in the knowledge that you acquire. You can get whatever certificate you can get, even a certificate that even the most powerful president can issue out. Trump issues out a certificate for you. And any organization that sees you with that certificate, they'll pick you immediately. But when they tell you work, you'll fail to work. You'll quickly get in as quickly as you got in. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Here. I think at this point we are good.